Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Deputy Commander of Fort Jackson Commanding General, Major General Darrell O. Hood, and the Post Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major William M. Shope, welcome to the United States Army Training Center in Fort Jackson for the retirement review of 2 lifelong soldiers, 1 civilian, and the graduation of companies Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo Company from the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, 193rd Infantry Brigade. Please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Jason Jones.
Please bow your heads with me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I believe that with each cycle comes a word of encouragement from your promises, and I thank you that since the beginning of this cycle, you have impressed upon my heart the truth that you are the vine and we are the branches. You are the source of our strength, our provision, our peace, and our joy. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And I thank you, Lord, for how you have shown that to be true to so many of these new graduates, who we now proudly call soldiers, as they have leaned upon you for strength, wisdom, and care over these last 10 weeks. I pray, Lord, that they would continue to cling to you, that they would be like trees planted by streams of water, which yield its fruit in season and whose leaf does not wither. And so, Lord, I pray as they go forth from this place that they would continue to walk with you, talk with you, and abide in you, that you continue to protect their families, Lord, that you would faithfully lead, guide, and protect them all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please be seated. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the men and women you see here who have chosen to serve their country as soldiers. This review is the last official formation in the career of 2 lifelong soldiers, 1 civilian, and of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and these soldiers can take great pride in their accomplishments. To the parents, families, and friends of these soldiers, Fort Jackson extends a very warm and sincere welcome. We are justifiably proud of them and are truly honored that they have chosen to join our ranks. Please direct your attention to the left of the formation. The units marching today from your left to right are the 282nd Army Band, led by Chief Warrant Officer 4 Jared Delaney, the graduating soldiers from companies Alpha and Bravo, the Battalion Color Guard, and graduating soldiers from companies Charlie, Delta, and Echo. Identified by their distinctive headgear are the drill sergeants. These dedicated non-commissioned officers form the backbone of the Army's training center system, selected based on professional competence, leadership ability, and years of service. These men and women undergo intensive training to earn the right to wear their distinctive hat and insignia. With the drill sergeant hat goes the important responsibility of molding civilian men and women into soldiers. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Marie R. Smith, who serves as the executive officer for the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment. She and the battalion staff are positioned on the field. The reviewing officer for today's graduation is the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Michael L. Cassiano. On his left is Command Sergeant Major Johnio D. Cespedes, the battalion's senior non-commissioned officer, master trainer, and principal advisor to the commander. The commander of troops will now bring forward the colors and persons to be honored. Competence and commitment are the hallmarks of professionalism. The soldiers and drill sergeants coming forward will be recognized for their excellence in training and duty performance and serve as examples to all.
Sir, the colors and persons to be honored are present.
Present the command!
River Raiders.
Roll on!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. It is appropriate for soldiers not in uniform and all armed forces veterans to salute the American flag. We ask our civilian guests to please remove your headgear and place your right hand over your heart as our national anthem is played.
Detachment, present, call.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the retirement of 2 lifelong soldiers and 1 civilian. All soldiers begin their journey by graduating from basic combat training. Over the years, there have been changes to how the Army conducts basic training. However, many things remain the same. It was during basic training that individuals were first introduced to the Army values. It is where they learn the importance of teamwork and that the Army truly is a family. That sense of team and Army family is still embedded in what is done here today. Over 20 years ago, these soldiers took the same oath to defend this nation that your loved ones on the field have taken. We salute these great soldiers as they pass the torch of freedom along to the newest generation of soldiers, your loved ones standing on the field today. A certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States will be presented to today's retiree. It reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during critical times in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of the military service. I trust that in the coming years you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. A certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff, United States Army, is also presented to today's retiree and to their spouse for their dedicated service to our nation. It reads, on the occasion of the retirement of your spouse from active status with the United States Army, you have earned our grateful appreciation for your unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible your spouse's lasting contribution to the nation. At this time, Colonel Thigpen and Command Sergeant Major Clancy will recognize our retirees for their service to the United States Army. Sergeant First Class Kelly Anderson, having served honorably for 20 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 31 August 2026. Sergeant First Class Anderson entered active duty at Erie, Pennsylvania, and will reside in Columbia, South Carolina upon her retirement. Her fondest professional achievement is arriving at a new duty station as a newly promoted Sergeant First Class and taking a platoon. Half of the platoon was brand new privates. She rotated to Europe and successfully became a cohesive entity, promoting learning and evolving the platoon during the 9 months. The next time the unit rotated to support Operation Atlantic Resolve, these privates were the NCOs of the platoon. The nation salutes. Kelly Anderson, Sergeant First Class, United States Army, retired. Sergeant First Class Calvin Wynn, having served honorably for 20 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 31 July 2026. Sergeant First Class Wynn entered active duty at Plainview, Texas, and will reside in Columbia, South Carolina upon retirement. His fondest professional achievement is serving as a senior drill sergeant. The nation salutes. Calvin Wynn, Sergeant First Class, United States Army, retired. GS-11 Marilyn Bailey, having served honorably for 36 years of service, is placed on the retirement list effective 31 June 2026 and will reside in Blythewood, South Carolina upon retirement. Her fondest professional achievement is working with Army volunteers, soldiers and family members of the Fort Jackson community, and South Carolina surviving families of fallen heroes. She cherishes the personal relationships developed through her tenure and looks forward to remaining connected. The nation salutes. Marilyn Bailey, GS-11, United States Army, retired. Please join me in a round of applause for our retirees and their families. Although newly retired, they will always be a part of our Army family. The non-commissioned officers most responsible for the training of these soldiers are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for 3rd Battalion's 60th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Caban, will recite the drill sergeant creed. We ask that all drill sergeants, past and present, please stand for the reciting of the drill sergeant creed.
I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's mountain battlefield. I will still pride in all I train, myself, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards, military bearing, and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring soldier to attempt any task that I will not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Cassiano and Command Sergeant Major Suspettis will now present the awards. The outstanding drill sergeant of the cycle for 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Kaman. The soldier leader of the cycle for Alpha Company is Specialist Dong Yuhan. The soldier of the cycle for Alpha Company is Specialist Otwell Landon. The soldier leader of the cycle for Bravo Company is Specialist Hennings Cassie. The soldier of the cycle for Bravo Company is Private First Class Francis Aiden. The soldier leader of the cycle for Charlie Company is Private Boyd Grace. The soldier of the cycle for Charlie Company is Private Carrillo Victor. The soldier leader of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Legima Benjamin. The soldier of the cycle for Delta Company is Private Duchesne Lucas. The soldier leader of the cycle for Echo Company is Private Wilson Dillon. The soldier of the cycle for Echo Company is Specialist Jean Tony Miles. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Michael L. Cassiano.
Good morning. I'm glad you're here today to enjoy this amazing South Carolina weather. Major General Hood, Mrs. Hood, Command Sergeant Major Shove, Colonel Thigpen, Colonel Miters, Command Sergeant Major Clancy. Distinguished guests, and most importantly, the families and friends of Team River Raider, welcome, and thank you for joining us in honoring the accomplishments of Basic Training Class 2602. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin here this morning, I ask that you cast your gaze out onto the field in front of you. First, focus your gaze on the background at the sign that proudly and truthfully proclaims, "We make American soldiers." As the "we" implies, it is in fact a team effort. It is a team that produces the finest quality of soldier that this country demands. You all are a huge part of them. One of the best parts of our job here is taking your soldiers as they undergo their transformation from civilian to soldier. And we always ask them, why did you decide to serve? Why did you join up? And without a doubt, the answer we most often get is family. To protect my family, to better my family, to support my family, and to make my family proud. Clearly, you all are a big and decisive part of your soldiers' decision to serve this great nation. So I want to first thank you all in the stands for raising sons, daughters, and loved ones who have the personal attributes and inherent desire to serve our nation. They are a reflection of your efforts, first and foremost. I thank you for trusting us as stewards of the most precious resource you have during their time here at Fort Jackson. Now, shift your gaze into the foreground and onto the 831 soldiers, your soldiers, standing in front of you. These new soldiers hail from all over the U.S. and over 54 countries from around the world. They are uniquely talented. We have 54 associate's degrees, 100 bachelor's degrees, 16 master's degrees, and yes, even one PhD. We also have 6 former professional and world-class athletes, and many before you have family members who have served. And we even have 40 newly minted American citizens who were naturalized yesterday as part of their BCT experience. If you will join me in one more round of applause for these soldiers. Thank you. Now, I promise you that our future and our nation is good because it's in good hands with the soldiers standing on this field today. They are our mission, and our mission is critical. Your soldier story began when they arrived 10 weeks ago in April. The beginning of their training was about discipline, fitness, and confidence. Becoming a soldier. They conducted countless inspections. They learned how to march, become part of a team, and challenge themselves to improve their physical and mental fitness. Shortly thereafter, they gained trust in their military equipment by wearing their chemical protective masks in our gas chamber and learning how to accurately fire their weapons at varying distances and under stress. They gained confidence in their training, their leaders, and in themselves. Each completed a series of challenging yet critical Army tasks, testing their mettle and adaptability. They gain mental fortitude and toughness through their daily physical fitness and by marching great distances under heavy load. These tests of grit and discipline showed them the importance of recognizing their role as a member of a team and in the importance of taking care of each other. For many on the field today, the past 10 weeks have represented the greatest challenge in their lives. 831 soldiers met the challenge and proudly stand before you today. To the River Raiders on the field, I'm honored to be your commander and inspired by your example of grit and determination. Their collective example proves that our nation and our Army are more lethal and ready to confront the challenges on today's battlefield and any battlefield before them. Less than 1% of Americans elect to serve in the United States military, making you part of an elite, willing, and committed force. You are the last full measure of devotion and service to our nation. Take pride in your profession. While your victories have started here, do not let them end here. Our nation needs you. They need you trained and ready for any situation. Remain vigilant as you go off into our Army and accomplish our missions. Each is important to the success of the Army, our nation, and our way of life. To our extended families, thank you again for your attendance and for your tremendous support of our soldiers and the nation. Please continue to help support your soldier. They have become something different, something better than they once wore. These soldiers joined the ranks of a military profession, past and present. Our battalion, the River Raider Battalion, has a rich and storied history fighting in the Vietnam War. In fact, it's where we earned our name, the River Raiders. As we are proud to have living warriors from the River Raider Battalion who fought in Vietnam here today, Mr. Montillo and Mr. Rue. Would you gentlemen and all those that have continued and proudly served today, that serve in this country's military, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all. Now, in closing, I'm going to close with our mottos. I don't know if you remember what we talked about yesterday, where victory starts, but let's see if you remember. River Raiders, no ground to give, and victory. Thank you very much.
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and determined to destroy the enemies of the United States of America. The United States Army Soldier's Creed embodies this commitment. To the soldiers on the field, the uniform you wear at this moment is more than an outward display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of a nation and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are a willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for by all who have gone before and those who will bravely come after. You have become what you set out to be, a soldier in the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Private Wilson presents a certificate of appreciation to today's retirees and leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
Please be seated.
Pass and review!
River Raiders!
Row hard!
Pass and review!
In consideration of those around you, we ask that you please remain seated and in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the conclusion of the ceremony is announced. As you're approached by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it has passed to your right. Once the ceremony has concluded, family members of awardees may meet their soldiers under the canopy located to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldiers on the field, once instructed by the narrator by respective companies. The 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry, was constituted in May 1917 in the regular Army as Charlie Company, 60th Infantry. It was organized June 1917 at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, during the outset of the First World War. In November 1917, the regiment participated in the campaigns of Saint-Mihiel, Alsace-Lorraine, and finally in the war-ending campaign of the Meuse-Argonne. The battalion fought with superb distinction throughout the Second World War, beginning with the Algeria-French-Morocco invasion at Port Lyoté as part of Operation Torch. In February of 1943, the battalion was an integral part of pushing Field Marshal Rommel's Afrika Korps from the Kisserine Pass. In France, during the heroic days of June 1944, the battalion led the way for the division as it spearheaded the American advance out of the Utah beachhead that cut the Kwantantum Peninsula and secured the vital port of Cherbourg. For the battalion actions at the pivotal crossing of the Douve River, the battalion was awarded a Presidential Unit Citation. Following the final advance into Central Europe, the battalion received another Presidential Unit Citation for capturing the Schwalmenau Dam. The battalion was inactivated in November of 1946 while in Ingolstadt, Germany. The battalion was selected to be one of the first units to return to the United States from Vietnam. On July 8, 1969, the unit was greeted by General William C. Westmoreland, a former commander of the 60th Infantry, on their return to Seattle, Washington, and on August 1, 1969, the unit was deactivated at Fort Riley, Kansas. The battalion was finally called back into active Army on November 16, 2005 at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. The 360th instills the spirit of the Go Devil Regiment and the River Raiders Battalion into the hearts and minds of today's young fighting soldiers. Passing the reviewing stand is the Commander of Troops, Major Marie R. Smith, and the battalion staff. The 282nd Army Band is led by Chief Warrant Officer 4 Jared Delaney. The drum major is Staff Sergeant Benjamin Garrett. Alpha Company is commanded by Captain Aja Gonzalez. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Rutledge and trained by Drill Sergeant Airman. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Hendricks and trained by Drill Sergeant Sams. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Davis and trained by Drill Sergeant Kiernan. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Bisher and trained by Drill Sergeant Mothersbaugh. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant, First Sergeant Andrew Weinberg. Bravo Company is commanded by Captain Andrew Rivera. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Farrow and trained by Drill Sergeant Underwood. 2nd Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Ostrand and trained by Drill Sergeant Espinoza. 3rd Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Chesick and trained by Drill Sergeant Conway. 4th Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Bennett and trained by Drill Sergeant Brown. In the rear of the formation is the 1st Sergeant, 1st Sergeant Eric Saffel. Charlie Company is commanded by Captain Dicaria James. 1st Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant McCrae and trained by Drill Sergeant Frazier. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant James and trained by Drill Sergeant Sotomayor. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Suero and trained by Drill Sergeant Garner. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Dion and trained by Drill Sergeant Knipe. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant, First Sergeant Mark Dorval. Delta Company is commanded by Captain Michael Matthews. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Thiel and trained by Drill Sergeant Madden. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Warrings and trained by Drill Sergeant Prickett. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Votas and trained by Drill Sergeant Dupuy. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Aguilera and trained by Drill Sergeant Gilpatrick. In the rear of the formation is the acting First Sergeant, Sergeant First Class Jeremy Hicks. Echo Company is commanded by Captain Eduardo Colon Ortiz. First Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Bovey and trained by Drill Sergeant Fassett. Second Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Gray and trained by Drill Sergeant McMillan. Third Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Carthen and trained by Drill Sergeant Toops. Fourth Platoon is led by Senior Drill Sergeant Broom and trained by Drill Sergeant Burnett. In the rear of the formation is the First Sergeant, First Sergeant Jacob Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the retirement medley and remain standing for the playing of the Army song. Please remain in the bleachers until the conclusion of the ceremony is announced.
River Raiders!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Family members of awardees, please move to the canopy to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends, please meet your soldiers on the parade field. We ask that you please remember to take all trash and personal items with you as you exit. Please enjoy the rest of your day and have a safe journey home. Victory starts here.